All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for another 10-minute burst of innovation. I can tell by the incredible number of people on here that this is a hot topic, and I think I know why. So the topic today is why we need to stop saying, think outside the box to our team. How many of us have said that or been in a room when someone else has said it? I know. I've been guilty of it too. So you're not alone. But I got to tell you, that whole outside the box that became super famous, I think in the mid-90s, is actually detrimental and hurting your innovation. I'm going to talk to you about it from three perspectives. So one is the mindset perspective, second is communication, and third is the actual implementation. And why you've got to stop saying, think outside the box, because it is sabotaging your innovation efforts. Here's why. Number one, from a mindset. And let me just share a story with you because I saw this in action the other day. So one of my clients was having a town hall meeting. So this was the kickoff meeting for the year where they were getting the team together and they were talking about what they're focusing on for the year to come. Innovation is a big part of the organization, a big theme. Of course, it is for all of us because it's innovate or die these days. But the CEO wanted to make a big impression about innovation. So I came because I wanted to see, because I'm doing some work with him down the road. I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he got up there and with all good intent, he said, what I want from everybody is to think outside the box. We have to think outside the box if we want to be disruptive. Now, I agree with his intent, but let me tell you what I saw happen in the audience. So as he was talking about how important it is to think outside the box, the audience started to do this, right? They started to cross their arms. They started to look down. You could visibly see them kind of physically shutting down and curling in. Why? Because think outside the box actually shuts down your brain. There's a couple of reasons why this often happens. One is your brain is efficient. It's lazy. It wants to do what it knows and it wants to do what is comfortable, what it's done in the past. Did you know that about 90% of our thoughts on any given day are repetitive? They're the same as the day before. So when someone says to you, think outside the box, your brain goes, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. That sounds exhausting. So I'm not going to let that in. So when you're over there telling your team, think outside the box, you're actually shutting their brains down. They don't want to do it. And frankly, what does that even mean? Most of the time when people say outside the box, it just confuses and adds to the mess for the people on the other side. By the way, if I sound a little heated about this, that's because I am, because I think it's one of the biggest myths that we have out there, that we have to think outside the box. And this box is this thing that traps us. I think, as you'll see in a minute, because I'm going to share a solution, the box can actually set you free if you think about it right. But going back to the mindset, think outside the box is scary. It's frightening. You're asking me to not only expend energy where my brain goes, no, thank you, but you're also asking me to leap and walk away from everything I know. You're asking me to leap off a cliff into the unknown without any parachutes. That's how it comes. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing with the idea that you need to think differently and that you need to be disruptive in today's marketplace. Innovation is key for all of us, personally and professionally. What I'm saying is there's a better way to go about it. So from a mindset perspective, right, we're shutting people down. And from the second one, from a communication perspective, what does think outside the box even mean? I mean, if you thought about this, just visualize it for a second, close your eyes. And I want you to think about if your box is your life and your work, right? That's everything that you know. And then suddenly I'm telling you to think outside the box. That's just wide open space. Where do I focus? Where do I land? What do I look at? Where do I go? It's kind of like being at the edge of a continent and just being like, okay, go, right? So when you say think outside the box to people, it actually, like I kind of alluded to before, it adds to the confusion. It's unclear. Excuse me. So from a communication perspective, you're not adding clarity, you're actually adding confusion. And the third one is from an implementation perspective. And I've seen this before, so let me give you another example. I can't go into too much detail because of confidentiality on products, but I can tell you the general story. So I was working on a new product development project for a company. We do a lot of those where we come in and help them assess kind of opportunities, customer expectation changes, and develop new products for their pipeline. one of the products that we came up with was completely outside the box, right? It had nothing to do with their reality. It was a great product. The team, the core team, loved it. But here's the thing. When we brought it back to the base team, to the core team who had to implement it, to the manufacturing, to the brand managers, all those, they completely rejected it because their box was over here, our idea was over here, and we had not connected the dots back to them to say, hey, this is how this relates to the realities that we have today. Now, this was a while ago now. I've learned my lesson since. And now anytime we have a far out there idea, I make sure that we connect the dots back to the box that we have in the world that we're living in, what's right in front of us. But my point there being with implementation is, and by the way, you see this with companies all the time where they create an innovation team, and that team then is allowed to like go off, run wild, and find that crazy kind of open space. All great, but then where the struggle comes, and if you've been in a company that's done this, I know you've seen it, the struggle comes when they try to bring that idea back. They can't, because there's no connection to the box, to the reality of the other people. So from a mindset perspective, from a communication perspective, from an implementation perspective, all you're doing with the whole outside the box is shutting down innovation. You're sabotaging your own efforts. Now, there's a flip side to this, which is awesome, which is, I think, opportunistic, which is, I'm not saying you can't get to disruptive ideas. You absolutely can. What I'm proposing is a different way to get to those ideas, a different way to communicate, a different mindset, a different way to implement it so that it works. There's an incredible opportunity to innovate with what's right in front of us. I want to show you my screen for a second, because I think this kind of shares it. Okay, so let me do a slideshow so you can kind of do one at a time. Okay, so I want you to forget outside the box. Here's what I want you to think about instead. Instead, I want you to think about, how do I rearrange the box I have? Here's the thing. From a mindset perspective, it feels easier, doesn't it? If I said to you, hey, I'll pick a name from here. Hey, Greg, I want you to just rearrange the box you have to come up with new innovative ideas. Doesn't that feel easier? The mind sees that as something it can do. Won't take as much energy. It'll be more efficient at it. You're still getting to the same innovative, disruptive places. The difference is you're going to be more open to it. In fact, what I would argue, what I've seen in a lot of the workshops that we do with our clients, when we have a whole exercises, in fact, days we could do around rearranging the box that they have. When we do that, we actually get to more innovative and more disruptive ideas. But here's the thing. From a mindset perspective, you're open to it. You're accepting to it. You want to be a part of that. You feel like it's doable. That's how your team feels when they hear rearrange the box. The second part is, from a communication perspective, it's very clear. I'm asking you to rearrange what's in front of you. I'm not asking you to leap into the unknown. I'm giving you some guardrails, just enough guardrails to understand how to innovate. And the third part is, from an implementation perspective, is this is just grounded enough in reality that it's doable. Again, I'm not saying don't have big ideas. You will get big ideas by rearranging the box. I want to give you a quick example to close this out of one of my favorite recent marketing ideas that I think is a absolutely brilliant example of rearranging the box you have. So it's an animal shelter. And one of the things that animal shelters struggle with is having a lot of older dogs that people don't want to adopt, right? Everybody wants a puppy, a young dog. I actually adopted a 3-year-old Mastiff, and I will tell you, it's the best thing I ever did. So I love it. But in general, right, there's this misperception that if you're buying an old dog, then like, I don't know, it's just not as fun. Won't integrate into the family, all these things. So they thought, okay, so we have people who have this misconception about old dogs. We've got a whole bunch of old dogs. Well, I should say old, mature, maybe dogs. I don't want to offend my dog who's sitting next to me right now. In our kennels, and we've got to come up with a marketing campaign that gets people to think differently. So this is what they did. So fabulous, right? Because I'm a grown-ass adult. This is only 2 of their marketing example. Do you see how they simply rearranged what was right in front of them, the pieces that they had to come up with a whole new innovative marketing? I'm mature enough to know the difference between a tennis ball and cashmere because I'm a grown-ass adult. I love it so much. I like to sleep through the night. I'll bet you do too, because I'm a grown-ass adult. You get the point. I would look these up. They are phenomenal. But the thing I really want to highlight out of this is when you rearrange the box that you have, you come up with brilliant innovation. So how about we all agree as leaders to stop saying think outside the box and start asking ourselves and our teams to rearrange the box that we have, because the innovation and the disruption that comes out of it is actually even more powerful than we start outside. All right, that was a burst of innovation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. And now that awkward moment, we'll have to figure out the ending part.